everybody, thanks for joining us and welcome to the 23rd episode of Fight Like the Movies, the tutorial series where we study cinema's most epic fight scenes and employ what we discover to develop a deeper understanding of film combat. Pew pew. I'm your instructor TJ Cencula, and this week's lesson, Robin Hood. Since there are so many on-screen depictions of Robin Hood, instead of focusing on a particular film, let's do a study of Robin Hood's violent adventures in cinema. And roll it! The first stop on our tour is Robin Hood from 1922, starring Douglas Fairbanks, directed by Alan Dwan. One of the popular techniques of the time was to undercrank the camera so that the action actually plays a little bit faster than the performers were doing on the day. Next on our tour is 1938, The Adventures of Robin Hood, starring Errol Flynn, directed by Michael Curtis and William Keighley. Wide master shots with long phrases of action showcase the skill of the two fighters. Robin Hood is a hero of the Crusade, so most likely he fought with a broadsword. And even though the fighting style favors more of that of a fencing foil, there's no denying the skill of these guys. And when you pair Errol Flynn with Basil Rathbone, that is a recipe for greatness. Robin and Marian from 1976, starring Sean Connery as a much older Robin Hood, directed by Richard Lester. Starting 20 years after most other versions, we see Robin have to finally settle his feud in a violent contest to the death, using heavy weapons and axes. If there was an Academy Award for most time spent on the ground, this fight is a shoo-in to take home the prize. In 1991, we were given Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, with arguably the coolest poster of any of them, starring Kevin Costner and directed by Kevin Reynolds. This fight is about one thing: destruction of property. Almost every swing, something gets broken. Guess not everyone is a fan of the movie mullet. Only a few years later, in 1993, Mel Brooks gives us Robin Hood Men in Tights, starring Cary Elwes as Robin Hood. Unique from its counterparts in that it's the only one you would find in the comedy section, even still, the gags are set amidst a solid display of sword fighting. A TV series of Robin Hood was created by Dominic Minghella and Fox Allen that ran from 2006 to 2009, starring Jonas Armstrong as Robin the Hood. The BBC reimagines the hero as a young, hip rock star rebel. While perhaps a bit sparse with the use of the sword, Robin delivers plenty of arrow action. In 2010, yet another version of the hero comes out, cleverly and creatively titled Robin Hood, starring Russell Crowe and directed by Ridley Scott. The weapons look heavy, the hits look hard. Going in the opposite direction of the 1922 version, slow motion is used to dramatize the action. The violent splashes and background chaos dramatically enhance the suspense and intensity. In addition to films adapted from his own legend, Robin Hood also inspired other adaptations, including the superhero Hawkeye from the Avengers and also Green Arrow of the Justice League. Like all legends, in each version the storyteller adds their own unique elements, but in the case of Robin Hood, there are a few distinct characteristics that everyone can agree upon. He is a master marksman, an outlaw, and one sly fox. This group of outlaws definitely hit the mark. Let's meet the class. Bend your bow and prepare for action. So of course the first thing you think about when you think of Robin Hood is the bow and arrow, but we wanted to focus on the fundamentals of fighting. So we broke it down into two groups. We had one half of the class that was representing the merry men of Sherwood Forest, and the other half that were the men of Prince John and the Sheriff of Nottingham. Taking into consideration all the different ways that Robin Hood has been presented in cinema in the past, we decided on a style that would straddle the line between being able to see all of the action and yet also be able to watch the performance of the actor. This way we take advantage of the fact that we're not using stunt doubles in the class and everybody is taking responsibility for their own action. The fight starts at the tempo of the sword fighter, who is the initial aggressor, but when the fight gets turned around and the staff comes back, it starts to accelerate in tempo because the distance between the attacks is a lot shorter, and it puts the guy with the sword on the run. And we had the choreography end in a core. It translates literally to body, and we use it commonly on screen as a struggle. The extremely useful thing about it is if you are a background fighter, you don't know how long the duration of the shot is going to be, and this struggle position allows you to continue to extend your action beyond maybe what the choreography would allow without having to interrupt the shot because you don't have any more business to perform. Then we created a cue from one side where he would indicate to the other person when he was prepared to be thrown off, and our policy is that the victim is always in control. We want to look like the aggressor is motivating the action, but in fact, they're running the circle by themselves, and the other person gets low in their legs, and they just go along for the ride. It was fun, it was epic, and certainly worthy of the legend of Robin Hood.
Goldilocks was Robin in the stocks. Double fisting.
Well, what do we have here? It appears the outlaws are playing a bit of a game. And they have my maiden. Maid Mary, what are you doing with these outlaws?
I will never love you.
What you need is a distinguished man. A man such as myself. I insist you come join me on a romantic dinner for two.
Yellow was the sun, green was the grass. Rasta kick some ass!
Kill them! Conversations then!
Lucky shot.
A very merry thanks to all my special guests: Adam Kahn, Josh Burke, Jason Parsons, Brianna Judy, Ben Austin, Taylor Jeffers, Tony Noto, Ken Dickinson, Diana Restrepo, Brandon Pugmire, and that knife-throwing phenom Matt Fronta. Just like most modern productions, our after-hour shoot incorporated practical physical performances with VFX and post-production, but it is worth noting that all of the knife-throwing Matt Fronta actually did physically perform on the day. What an amazing guy. And that is a wrap. As always, thanks for tuning in to Fight Like the Movies. This is the point where we want to challenge the accuracy of your mouse cursor. Go ahead, hover it right over that like button, and click. Did you get it? Not bad. Alright, now for the truly advanced, go find that subscribe button, roll that mouse cursor right over to it, and click. Bullseye! And if you really want to join our band of merry men, check us out on our Facebook page, where you can interact with the class, check out the class schedule for the rest of the show, and see behind the scenes footage. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Warrior Showdown. Our group gathers every Wednesday night at Swordplay Studios in Burbank, California, 8:30 to 10 p.m., but only for the next 6 weeks. And remember, all skill levels are welcome. We'll see you there soon. And cut.